Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes to the light of knowledge. May Allah my disciple amazes and everything.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur ki jai. So on this very special day, when we honor a half-day fast, we are remembering Bhaktivinod Thakur. He plays an important role in our disciple succession. So what I'm going to give to you right now, as part of our class, is a little bit of a background, genealogical table, I guess you can say. Thank you. Ooh. Okay, so Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur, and this is known as present-day Birnagar in the Nadia district, Bengal presidency, now West Bengal, India. His parents, Ananda Chandra Datta, that's his father, and his mother name is Jagat Mohini Devi. Early marriage, first wife Shayamani, also spelled Shamini Devi, child marriage. So they were very young when they I guess you could say, tied the knot. Okay, and that marriage was in 1849. So that would make him, let's see, when 49, so yeah, 11 years old, okay? And, well, let's see. Then she died in 1861. But he got married again to Bhagavati Devi Dasi in 1861. They had several children, 10. These days people go, whoa. Okay, and notable sons, Bimal Prasad, also known as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Prabhupada's guru, right? And also Lalita Prasad. Those two didn't always get along together so well. Education and career, he was educated in Kolkata, worked as a teacher, and later as a deputy magistrate, deputy collector under the Bengal administration. He got initiated in 1880. He and his wife accepted Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and the initiation came from Bipin Bihari Goswami. He later took Shiksha guidance from Jagannath Das Babaji. His major services, okay, this is where we'll start talking about him a little bit, okay? So, any of you have gone to Mayapur? How many of you have gone to Mayapur in India? Did you manage to go to the yoga pit?
Yes.
Okay, so that was discovered by him. He was trying to excavate. That's what saints do. They excavate holy places where there's sacred burials or where there's, something significant happens, some kind of miracle that gets restored, And so he took Jagannath Das Babaji to the place that he thought, but after talking to locals, they were indicating this probably is where Nimai, that is Chaitanya, was born. But to make a confirmation, they took Jagannath Das Babaji over there just to see if he could, confirm in some way. And in those days, people were carried in like a basket, not exactly a palaki or, but actually in a kind of a basket. Now he's quite old then. He was very old. And when he got to that spot, he leapt out of the basket and started dancing ecstasy. Even though he was not physically up to it, he went ecstatic. So that was a confirmation that this is the location where the Lord was born, under a neem tree. And that neem tree is still there. Any of you who go there, pick up some of the leaves, bring them back home. Haribol. Okay, so that's one significant thing that he has contributed to the world. He also is called the seventh Goswami, and one of the reasons is because the Goswamis, they actually did a lot of writing, on the science of bhakti. They also excavated holy places, like, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did that too. This is Shamakund, this is Radhakund. Those all kinds of holy places were rediscovered, unearthed, And so he's with the Yoga Pit, that's the situation. And he wrote on the science of devotional service and started to cultivate sometimes it comes a second time, but it's not happening right now. So he excavated that holy place. It's very significant because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Yuga avatar. Let's not forget how important that is, of this whole age, which is thousands of years in its length. We have one main avatar. There are other avatars. I mean, a Buddha appeared. He's an avatar. Jesus also considered an avatar. Let's see. They are there. But the Yuga avatar, the person who really represents this age and came in a significant way, is, people come, they come as peacemakers. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was like that. Quoting from the Bhagavatam, 11th canto, the Lord comes, Krishna appears in this day and age, but as Akrishna. Akrishna means not as a dark complexion, but lighter complexion. And he comes to establish Sankirtan Yagya. Yagyai Sankirtana Parayayar Yajantihi Samedasaha. That is the Yagya, sacrifice for this age is to sing and dance like what we were doing upstairs, Kyle and others, Alex and Dara. Happy birthday, by the way. Yeah. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in a unique position, and he comes not like other avatars with lethal weapons, like, say, for instance, the chakra, which is very effective. It's very effective for slicing. And the gada, which is also very effective for doing major breaking bones, and that's like hardware. The software that Vishnu carries is the pada, the padma, the lotus, and also there is the sangha, So the conch shell, that's software. The Lord comes here with his associates, and there's 4 of them. Isn't that interesting? 4, just like Vishnu has 4 items. So the Lord comes 4 items, his associates, but most notably is Nityananda, who was, he was about 12 years Mahaprabhu's senior. And then there was Advaita, senior to them both. And then there was Gadadhar and Srivas. They were his associates. So they come not with weapons, but they come with their amigos. We have the images here. Okay? There's the amigos, okay? Now, there's some dispute. I mean, I'm not going to get deeply into it, but some people believe that Advaita Acharya didn't have a beard, but he seems to be installed in ISKCON carrying a beard, right? Okay, if you ever go to Hawaii, you'll see beautiful deities of Panchatattva there. Okay, now we're just going to move along. Some of his other Bhaktivinod Thakur's contributions. He was really big on establishing Namahat programs, congregational development, and that is being systematic about it. It's good to be systematic. It'd be good if we get some picture of Bhaktivinod Thakur. That would be kind of helpful. And he was very big at promoting the Siddhanta. Siddhanta means conclusion, conclusion of our tattva, our truth, our philosophy. He was quite an intellectual himself. Let's see, resonance writings, and those are some of the main points to cover for now. He did work for the British in Bengal. He was a magistrate. He was like a judge. He would judge, and he was apparently very good, very sharp at picking up. You know, it is when people tell their stories, and she seems right and he seems wrong, but then you hear him, oh, he seems right and she seems wrong. It's hard sometimes to discern who was right and who was wrong, But apparently he had a great gift of determining things, and he would get snappy. It wasn't like a legal system where you try to draw it out, stretch it out so you can make money, like in the current system now, which is very corrupted and quite demonic, if I could say that. But he was very good. They liked him. Now, he was not born. One of our godbrothers, he's originally from Scarborough, and his name is Brian Marvin Shukavak. You know him? Oh, I need to get a hold of him.
That book he wrote.
Yeah, he wrote a book on Bhaktivinod Thakur. His Shukavak accepted initiation from Prabhupada, but he was also took kind of initiation, took lessons from Professor Joseph T. O'Connell. Is anybody familiar with him?
Yes.
Joseph T. O'Connell, he really stood up for us because he was a professor in the Gaudiya tradition. He taught Sikhism. He was fluent in Bengali. And, he was quite an intellectual. He used to come here regularly. He passed away, and unfortunately. But he was the person that, when asked, were there any female gurus in our tradition? And Prabhupada said, yes, not many, but there are some. There are some. And he said that right here at 243 Avenue Road, in the middle room, the sitting room. He said that. So, and that room's kind of famous for that reason, apart from the fact that Prabhupada was there. Okay, so those are some points I'm just going to give you a little bit more education. I think we did talk about that, initiation and so on like that. And he wrote books like Jaiva Dharma, Harinam Chintamani. There's a list of them. And there's autobiography, Swalikiti Jivani, written in 1896. Okay, so he passed away in June the 23rd, 1914. Okay, so that's a little bit of a background. It's good to know historically, what was he all about. And here he is, and he had lots of children. He also wrote lots of books, 100 books, at least 100 books. And we just sang his song, Jera Amadava, and some of the morning songs as well. So we love him. We love him. And the Gaur Arti as well. Jayo Jaya Gora Chandir Arati Koshoba. Okay, so we're very indebted to him. Now, what Shukavak writes about in his book, do you remember? It's the Hindu modernity?
Hindu encounter with modernity.
Modernity, yes. Okay, it's really a fantastic book. Very scholarly by Brian Marvin, that's his name. And I was so excited to get it. We were kind of friends, through the years, and then he moved to the West Coast. He's a pundit somewhere in the town. But one year at the Rath Yatra, Professor Joseph T. O'Connell came and he spoke about Shukavak and his book. He just wanted people to be aware of it. He was proud of it because his student had written this dissertation put this together, this amazing, let's say, text where we can get the lowdown. Now, Bhaktivinod Thakur wasn't really a Hindu, he was actually more affected by Christianity. He liked Christianity, the idea of the Father and the children and all that. And his observation was there's so many gods in the Hindu tradition. He saw people were just not that serious. He didn't have good exposure, But then he did show some interest in his culture, his own background. And that was that he wanted to know about Chaitanya, because that's the heritage, right? Orissa, Bengal, it's the eastern part of India. People are very influenced by the Gaudiya tradition. And before I forget, I just want to let you know, I went to visit one of my godbrothers, Bhaktadas. He was in Orissa, American, for a while. And I went to a household that he introduced us to, and there they had the heritage deities, the original Radha Madhava, of which this song is written after. I saw those deities. Woo! Okay, all right, really. That's in Orissa. I'm not sure where they are right now. Well, that's in Orissa. No, when I was there, it wasn't Puri. The deities were not there. They were in, what's the capital? Bhubaneswar. Yeah. So that was pretty interesting to chant that mantra, which Prabhupada sang all the time before giving a class. You love that song. It's simple, it's easy. It describes the spiritual world, you know. And I want to say also about his wife, the second wife after the first one passed away. What was her name now? I forget now. It's on. Yeah, Bhagavati Devi. I had a picture, a photograph of her as my bookmark for years, you know, where she's chanting japa, you know. Bhagavati Devi Dasi is what Bhaktivinod Thakur's wife. Okay.
Do you have her picture?
Well, I'd have to really go through every last book. It's hiding in one of the books. All right. So we talked about some of the feathers on his cap, you know, the things that he achieved, and yeah. But let's go back. Brian Marvin Sukhavak, he actually explained to me outside of the book. He said that he was converted. He converted from a Christian leaning to becoming a Vaishnava, you know, in a tradition, a Sanatana Dharma, whatever you, Vaishnava tradition. So, and at that time, as it was pointed out by others who have spoken about Bhaktivinod Thakur, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there was 1 or 2 generations after, things got really slack. It got very sahaja-like, the tradition, and things got very cheapened, if you understand what we're saying. Sahaja means cheap. And in one way, the culture of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went somewhat underground, you know, and it was hard to even find literature, you know. Bhaktivinod Thakur had trouble finding a Bhagavatam, you know. It was, but he endeavored. He endeavored in such a way that he'd get his hands on some of these wonderful books, which is all about loving Krishna, and that he was very attracted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because of the loving nature of the culture. Okay. So then, in our parampara, or our disciplic succession, he plays a major role in reviving the whole thing. You know, just like you know, we have with us here Kyle. Kyle, are you familiar with Hayawata? Well, Hayawata was he was like a peacemaker. He was a revivalist in the tradition of our indigenous people in North America, more on the Eastern Front, as far as I know. I don't think dates are set. There's no chronological order, but Hiawatha was somebody. I don't know if you want to get Hiawatha up there. And I say that, Hiawatha. And I mentioned his name because he was a revivalist. You know, he brought back peace and love and kindness, whereas prior to his time there was a lot of, what shall I say, trouble, violence, you know, people not being nice to each other, you know, hoarding, looting, raping, all that kind of stuff, all that stuff that you consider to be evil. And he was a revivalist. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also, of course, and Bhaktivinod Thakur. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have this revivalism of Krishna consciousness. And his passion for Krishna was spilled on over to his son, especially his son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And you know, he was very organized, like his dad. I want to say something about Bhaktivinod Thakur in that regards. He would not sleep that much. He was very regimented, you know, an hour and a half sleeping and then get up and then work on the books till wee hours of the morning and then have a sleep, or, you know, it would be extremely like that. I also heard that if there was ever an appointment, he would be an hour ahead of the appointment time, which is very non-Indian. You know, right? He was ahead of time. And our dear friend Peter Burwash used to say, if you can't be on time, at least be early. Right? There's no being late. So he was very regimented like that. And his son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, got it very together. He started the Gaudiya Math which is like a culture, a community of people who believe in Gaudiya culture. Gauda, like, referring to the worship of Radha and Krishna. And so Bhaktisiddhanta, he got totally together. He even sent some of his missionary guys to the UK. And that famous statement, this is really important to absorb. They were complaining, we're not getting much interest, Two things that Prabhupada says about this, about the mission by Bhaktisiddhanta's men going to Europe. Germany was one of the stops. I said, when we mentioned about, the abstinence, no eating this, no doing that, and people just say, horrible, I can't follow that, And the other thing that was said by Bhaktisiddhanta to his disciples, said, people are not coming, they're just not coming. He said, well, serve them chicken. So do whatever it takes, to get people to come, if that's what it means, if the meal means chicken. Now, I don't get any funny ideas here, Prabhus, I know none of you fall prey to that, but, they're bending over backwards to try to bring people into the culture, to embrace this beautiful tradition of people singing and dancing in the morning and liking each other and hugging each other and that kind of stuff. So Bhaktisiddhanta was organized like that, and he had 64 maths, that is centers. They spanned over India mostly, and some of the other neighboring countries which would have had some, Vedic affiliations from the past, and, and of course, coming to Europe, that was really outstanding. Bhaktisiddhanta, got a lot from his dad about pushing the barriers, doing things that were kind of extraordinary. Bhaktisiddhanta met with dignitaries from the British Raj, and he would wear regular clothes, not the, okay, that's Bhaktivinod Thakur. Did you never find how the Hiawatha?
Yeah, it's spelled Hiawatha?
Yeah.
H-I-W, I think.
I think it's H-I-A-W-A.
Hiawatha, okay. Every culture has this kind of thing, going in like at a cycle. It gets corrupted, and then someone comes in and comes with a new idea. Hey, let's be nice to each other. Okay. So Bhaktisiddhanta, he was kind of revolutionary. He'd wear, Western clothes, shoes. He'd be driven in a car. But he himself was strict with himself. He did this vow, incredible vrata, of just chanting, japa all day in a tent. And at one point he had like an umbrella arrangement. And he was super austere. He's a Naishtiki brahmachari, no ladies in his life. So he's inspirational. Bhaktivinod Thakur was also inspirational, right? He had many children, So there's two ways to go with your Krishna consciousness. Two ways. One is have lots of babies, try to make them all Krishna conscious, or have no babies whatsoever, and just keep yourself together and see everybody else as your family member, right? That's another way to look at it. Okay. So Hiawatha, maybe he was part of the British, maybe he was up here, I don't mention it. I'm dying to know more about him, but he was a peacekeeper. He was another person that came in there during a time of incredible corruption, during a toxic time, and revived the people at that time, a new way of thinking and being. Yes. So, Bhaktivinod Thakur, there's a lot to be said about him. There was this one person who claimed to be Bhagawan, Bishikishin. He was a yogi, he had long hair, and he was telling everybody he was Bhagawan, he was God. And so Bhaktivinod Thakur was trying to expose him, and he trying to do whatever he could, because he didn't like to see people being misled. What happened, though, is that the yogi put a curse on the family. One by one, the family members were getting extremely sick, and even it hit him at one point. Anyway, someone suggested, shave his hair, take off his hair, and he lost all his yogic power. He just became weak. And that was the end of that. They put him in jail and stuff like that. You know, Bhaktivinod Thakur didn't have a stomach for charlatan meditators. Where is that sound? Have you heard that term before? Charlatan meditators?
Sounds like a Gita purport.
Yes, the Gita, yeah. Mityachara.
Oh, yeah.
Achara means teacher.
Yeah.
Mithya means false teacher. Mityachara. So uchite, right? And when Prabhupada was talking to John Lennon and Yoko Ono, John raised up the point, well, what about a false guru? What about false guru? Because they were up in India with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who was accused of something, never found it. You know, it was ungrounded, they didn't have anything to back up the charge against him. But so John came up with this question, you know, what about a false guru? Prabhupada said there's no such thing as a false guru, you know. But Mityachara is somebody who feigns, you know, externally tries to put on the show, the profile, but inside there's a lot of darkness, inside a lot of selfishness. You know. So Bhaktivinod Thakur, if it wasn't for him, I think it would be very difficult to have the Hare Krishna movement.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be. I mean, you know, he produced Bhaktisiddhanta. Bhaktisiddhanta got it together, organized, and we love him for that. For these, if we didn't have these two people, I don't know where we would be at. And in all of our centers and temples around the world, we have an image of Bhaktivinod Thakur, yeah, and Bhaktisiddhanta, you know, on our altars. We revere them like anything for what they have done for the world. And what have they done for the world? They helped to establish the position of the Creator, Krishna, and what that means for all of us. You know, Krishna is the charming personality of Godhead. Not only that, but some people love and adore Krishna for what he spoke. You know, what he spoke. I was in Detroit some years ago with Anutama Prabhu, our communications director, and who was invited was a Jesuit priest, you know, representing the Christian community. And someone raised their hand. One of the devotees said, well, we heard that Jesus went to India, you know, so what's all that about? I said, yes, I have heard that, you know, the priest says, I have heard that, but that's not so important. It's what did he teach? That's it's not where you were geographically. What did you teach? So it's very likely that Jesus picked up, he was with the Jains, he was with the Buddhists, he was with the Athenian scholars, you know, in Greece. And he went all the way to Puri, as far as the annals of history explain. He went all the way to Jagannath Puri to meet with the Pandas. And Prabhupada does talk about the Aquarian gospel. There's some interaction there that Jesus had. Okay, so what else can we say? Because I want to stick to my time frame, just to wrap it up. Bhaktivinod Thakur, Kedarnath Datta, his legal name, has done so much for the world. And as you know, the ISKCON movement is expanding everywhere. And it's because we have some history. And there was a time when people just thought we were just some kind of goons on the street. They didn't understand who we were, you know. What's the reference point? There were no movies out about kung fu, you know, like the Buddhist monks doing. You know, but once Buddhist monks were portrayed, now they have a reference point because we kind of look like them, you know, especially people of the saffron, the shaven head. We use incense. We probably smell the same as Buddhists. So in any case, you know, so we got some backing. And one thing that was really fantastic, very helpful to our movement, is that the diaspora, the Hindu diaspora, people from India, from the land of Bharat, coming and spreading all over the world, and giving an endorsement. Yes, Krishna. Yes, 5,000 years ago, and even beyond that, you know, this culture was there. So thanks to Bhaktivinod Thakur, he was able to, let's say, dig up whatever material was out there in terms of devotional reading material. So we're very indebted to him. And all the songs. How about the song Gopinath? Mama Nivedana Shuno Vishay. Okay, so that he wrote, right? He wrote. And guess who's upstairs? Okay. Yeah, so we owe him for that. It'd be nice if somebody could just really, every evening just sing that and get it out there and attract all the people for the song Gopinath. Other songs and books, so much good material. Yeah. So we're going to stay on with our track. Do you have any?
I do have the poem. I mean, we could even, if you typed in, alas for those who spend their days.
Alas for those who spend their days.
If you type that, you can probably get with lyrics. Otherwise, you'll have a YouTube version of it.
Yeah, Bhaktivinod Thakur, he's, kind of revolutionary stuff in some of the lyrics. For instance, he says, I don't care if I'm to take birth again in this world, let me be born in a household of devotees. Let me be in with the household of devotees. Because even if I'm a worm or an ant or something like that, I'll get the prasad or I hear the holy name. That was the inference, right? So many nice things. When he takes Charanamrita, it's like the spiritual world opens up for him.
So I can just stand.
Oh, sure.
So the background is that in 1871, the Thakur wrote this poem. I don't know what sparked it. The title of it is Saragrahi Vaishnav, which means a Vaishnav Saragrahi who can grasp the essence of life. And the first half of the poem is the fall of the jiva, and then he meets the pure devotee, and then he's redeemed, and it's really sweet. And it's written in a very popular poetic meter of the day that Western poets like Emerson and Thoreau and Emily Dickinson wrote in this meter. And we have an unofficial national anthem in America called America the Beautiful. And you can sing this poem to that tune, but I won't do that. I won't.
Oh,
You want to hear it?
yeah.
All right, here we go. So you follow the lyrics.
Do you need any instruments within the?
No, I can just sing it a cappella. Yeah. Alas for those who spend their days in festive mirth and joy, the dazzling, deadly liquid forms their hearts for air employ. The shining bottles charm their eyes and draw their hearts' embrace. The slaves of wine can never rise from what we call disgrace. Was man intended to be a brute in work and in heart? Should man, the Lord of all around, from common sense depart? Man's glory is in common sense, dictating us the grace that man is made to live in love, the beauteous heaven's embrace. The flesh is not our own, alas, the mortal frame a chain, the soul confined for former wrongs, should try to rise again. Why then this childish play in that which cannot be our own, which falls within 100 years, as if a rose a-blown? Our life is but a rosy hue, to go ere long for naught. The soul alone would last for e'er, with good or evil fraught. How deep the thought of times to be, how grave the aspect looks, and wrapped in awe become, we, when reading nature's books. Man's life to him a problem dark, a screen both left and right. No soul hath come to tell us what exists beyond our sight. Now here's where the poem starts to turn. But then a voice, how deep and soft, within ourself is left. Man, man, thou art immortal soul, thee death can never melt. For thee thy sire on high has kept a store of bliss above. To end of time thou art, oh, his, who wants but purest love. O love, thy power and spell benign, now melt my soul to God. How can by earthly words describe emotional that feeling soft and broad, enjoyment, sorrow, what but lots, to which the flesh is heir, the soul that sleeps alone concludes. In them it hath a share, and then my friends no more enjoy, nor weep for all below. The women, wine and flesh of beasts, no love on thee bestow, or substitute, man if you're a lady. But thine to love thy brother man, and give thyself to God, and God doth know your wages fair. This fact is true and broad. Famous stanza. Forget the past that sleeps in ne'er the future dream at all, but act in times that are with thee, and progress thee shall call. But tell me not, in reasoning cold, the soul is made alone by earth's mechanic lifeless rules, and to destruction prone. Don't tell me that the soul is matter. Don't tell me that. That's wrong. My God who gave us life and all alone the soul can kill, so to speak, or give it all the joys above, his promise to fulfill. So push the onward march, O soul, against an evil deed that stands with soldiers' hate and lust. A hero be indeed. So Bhaktivinod's exhorting us, be a hero. Don't surrender to matter. Don't surrender to lust, anger, and greed. Maintain thy post in spirit world as firmly as you can. Let never matter push thee down. Oh, stand heroic man. Oh, here's with the title. Oh, Sharagrahi Vaishnav soul, thou art an angel fair. This is the Guru now. Lead me on to Vrindavan, and Spirit's power declare. There rests my soul, from matter free, upon my lover's arms. Eternal peace and Spirit's love are all my chanting charms. I cannot read, especially, or sing that poem without breaking up. It's too much.
Well, you broke up very nicely.
Breaking up is hard to do. Remember that?
Yeah, thank you. That was wonderful. Okay, we just have like 6.5 minutes to go. Anybody here? Any comments, questions about Bhaktivinod? Okay.
Quick Maharaj, is it possible to elaborate on the books that were sent to Mikhail?
Okay, well,
Which book?
the book by Life of Precepts of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to McGill University and made it there. One of the devotees found it and it was lifted and we don't know where it is.
It's at other universities too. I didn't know that.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the devotees first discovered it. That must have been in 67 or 68.
Rajumya discovered it.
I see.
I don't know if they listed it, but
Yeah, we don't. Maybe that's Maladi or somebody like that. But that was very revolutionary. I don't know how much interest there was in it, but it's just very significant that that book came to Canada and devotees had found it. And, it's nice to have everything, all in about Mahaprabhu's life, all in one, compact way, Otherwise, you'd have to find something from Chaitanya Bhagavat, or the Chaitanya Charitamrita, or a little bit from here and there, and but it's nice to put it all together, And what's his name there? Sacharaj, he did a nice job about Mahaprabhu in his book, But so that's it. I mean, it's not there anymore.
You need to find it.
Maybe we need to find out the information.
There are
Okay.
prophecies too that Bhaktivinod made.
Hmm.
In that Sajjana Toshini, circa 1885, that was when he predicted that there will soon a personality will appear who will spread Vaishnava Dharma all over the world. And
Yeah,
Prabhupada talks about that. Fortunately, that was, and then in 1896, Prabhupada appeared. And then he also, like if you go to Bhaktivinod's house across the Jalangi,
Jalangi, yeah.
you can go upstairs and you can look across the Jalangi and see what, well, he saw the Adbhuta Mandir. He saw we call it TOVP now. You know, he saw that. One day there will be a temple that will arise that will just be, it'll astound the whole world. And he also predicted that the day will come when
People from
come from all
Americans,
over the
Germany,
world,
everywhere.
France,
Yeah.
and they will chant
Jai
Nandana
Sachinanda.
Gaura Hari.
Yep, he was envisioning that.
Yeah.
And that was just a plain paddy field, like rice. And it was just flat. But he, superimposed this idea that there'd be a town. Now that's like a very substantial place. Mayapur, Dham. Yeah, so the predictions there, you're right.
Yeah.
He was a very empowered being. You can see just that poetry, and it's beautiful. It's not his first language.
He took the popular meter of the day. That was the most popular English poet meter of the day. And he added Krishna. He Krishnaized the whole thing. So he perfected it. Otherwise, it's just, as Prabhupada would say, it's just beautiful zeros. You put one in front of all the zeros and it becomes unlimitedly valuable.
Yeah, that's true. He did that in general with a lot of his bhajans, whatever was popular music at the time, which probably was very innocent compared to today's standards. Right, and he just, since people already knew the catchy melodies, he just gave them something new to sing about, right?
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Actually, that Jayarada Madhava, I think that melody did come from some popular tune of the day. But
And again, it would be quite innocent,
Yeah.
those days, yeah. Anything else, Bruce? Yes.
Are we allowed to sing this in the temple hall?
I don't see why you can't. I don't, it's like giving a class. So you're gonna try it, right?
Can we sing during Aarti?
Well, I keep to the tradition, But outside of the RT might be a good idea. Good.
Did he disappear before Prabhupada was born?
Well, his departure, Prabhupada was born 1896, right?
Yeah,
So his departure was,
1914, so that's 18 years after
Yeah.
Prabhupada appeared.
yeah.
Did they meet?
No.
I don't think.
But he met Bhaktivinod's youngest son, Prabhupada did.
Did Maharaj had disciples? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had disciples?
He had Shiksha disciples.
6?
Shiksha.
Shiksha disciples.
Like Gaur Kishore, whom he told his son,
Get-
Bhaktisiddhanta, you have
take
to take
Diksha from-
initiation from him. That's a whole story too.
Good. Anything else, Bruce? Okay, what's up for today?
Fasting until noon.
Okay.
Noon or death.
Of course, none of you are going to be here at that time, right? You're not interested, right?
Sorry?
You're not interested in that, are you? It might be nice to have an RT and then come and eat prasadam. Is that possible?
Yeah. 12 o'clock, you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be very nice, appropriate. Okay, good. Well, thank you so much. Sureshwara, now you had a chance to meet him. This is the introduction. We're friends for many years, right?
I'm a little Krishna West. I forgot my devotees. What to do?
And Sureshwara is a writer. You majored in literature or something. You just have a
Yeah,
gift.
English
You
maybe.
have a gift. So our common, when we have a script, I have a script that I work with, and you were demon once, right? Yeah, and you'll take the script and tweak it, you know? So tweaking is forever. You understand that? That's our famous line. Instead of, diamonds are forever.